Hi, thanks for being here. I'm going to wait just a little bit to start. Hi, thanks for being here. Okay, so we're just going to dive right in, okay? So I'm going to start with the two things and then I'll explain why. So the two most important elements for us to have to be able to change our life in whatever direction we want is one, our imagination, okay? And two, our nervous system. And so one thing I wanted to tell y'all, just in case you have to pop off before I'm finished, because I don't want to save this till the end if you're not going to be here, if you will type in the comments twice. The first time, comment awareness, and the second time, type or comment desire. Okay, because I want to give you a couple of tools so that you can use these two huge powerhouse aspects for creating whatever it is you want in your life. Okay, so your imagination and your nervous system. There's a connection between your imagination and your nervous system. And one thing you want to recognize is that we are constantly using our imagination. When we were little kids, we used our imagination in the way we were meant to use our imagination, and that is for wonder and play and creation. Right now, we're using our imagination for navigating away from the things we don't want, at least on a subconscious level. And so what we want to do is get really familiar with this muscle of our imagination, and we want to start intentionally using our imagination to think about those things we want. And that is why the desire part, right? Writing desire in the comments, and I see some of you have already done that, is so important because I just put together a really amazing 45-minute free, this is all free, masterclass on the power of your desire and your innate superpowers. And your imagination, your desire and your imagination are two of many other innate superpowers. So how does this work with the nervous system? Your imagination are thoughts, right? So within our mind, what's really powerful is language and imagery. And our imagination is capturing this imagery. Our thoughts capture the language. And so when we use our imagination and we're infiltrating these images into our mind, it's actually into our brain stem. So this is also part of our nervous system. It's called the reticular activating system. And so when we're planting these images of what we want with our imagination and we're doing it within our mind, we're tapping into this. And I'm not going to go into the reticular activating system, but just know there's a part of our mind that when we send it pictures, it is attracting that it's like a filter system. It's attracting those images and those stories, that language into our life. And that's why when you want a certain car, you start seeing it everywhere. If someone you know buys a certain car, you start seeing that car more often. We have this lens of perception, and we are gathering the information that's based on what we're saying within our imagination or within our mind. Okay? So what happens with our imagination is, let's just say we're imagining something we do not want, okay? What do you think that's doing to the nervous system? If we're thinking about things we don't want to happen, how do we feel in our body? So when we're imagining things that we want, we are tapping into the power of our nervous system, okay? And for those of you who just popped in, I want to just let you know that I have two free things that I want to share. And one, so if you'll type two separate comments if you're interested in these. The first comment is awareness, and the second comment is desire. And you'll get a link to two free gifts that I have that are directly related to what I'm talking about with our imagination and our nervous system. And so with our nervous system, it is taking the language and the images that we are creating within our mind, and it is sending that feeling to every cell in our nervous system, right? So, or every cell in our body. So our nervous system is like the central communication system. So when you see smoke or smell smoke or see fire, every cell in your body is notified via the nervous system that there's a problem. And that's why our hormones and our chemicals help us respond to the situation. The same happens when you're in love with someone or you see someone you love. The nervous system lights up in a different way. And all of that is within our control, not the smoke part, right? Like not the things we're seeing in our environment. And so what we want to do is we want to use the muscle of our imagination so it is working for us. And if you popped in later, I recommend you listening from the beginning because I talk about the reticular activating system and some things that I'm not going to go back into. So the first thing, so I asked you to type desire in the comments, and that's because if our nervous system and our imagination are the two like really powerhouses for creating what we want, what is even more important to start that whole process is our desire. Because if we don't know what we want, then our imagination is just going loosey-goosey all over the place, and we want to tether it and ground it, and we want it to have something to organize its energy around, organize its capabilities around. And so the first thing is we have to know what we want. And it can't be, I want to win the lottery. I want to meet the love of my life. Like we have to get juicy. We have to be like cinematographers, and we have to pull all of these elements in so that we experience our imagination on a very real sensorial level, because of this conversation that's happening with our nervous system. Because our nervous system is the intermediary between what is going on within our mind, either consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, and what's showing up in our life. And so if you agree that we are not just human beings that are here to work and die and whatever. If you believe that we have a greater potential, if you believe that thoughts become things, and if you believe that we have agency in what shows up in our life, then I want you to think about your nervous system as the bridge between what we're wanting and what the cosmos are delivering. Because our thoughts have a charge to them, and then that charge, it activates our nervous system through emotion. And our emotions, as you know, when you see someone who's angry or you see someone in love, you can feel the energy emanating from them, right? Like you can feel that. That's palpable. What's happening to that energy? It is starting a dance with the cosmos beyond us. And so our imagination and then the magic that's happening within our nervous system is actually like transmitting a message out beyond us. Basically, we are like antennas, and the energy that we're putting out through our nervous system is sending a signal, and that signal is we're going to receive whatever the tone and frequency is on that signal. Okay. So I went off a little bit on a tangent with the nervous system, but here's the thing. So our life is 20% about what we're doing in our outer life. It's 80% how we're showing up on the inside. It's 80% those superpowers of our desire, our imagination, our intention, our expectations. And so we want to realize that we have so much potential within us that is largely like responsible for what's showing up in our life. So this is why we want to enlist the support of our home, because if 20%, if 80% of what's showing up in our life has to do with what's going on in our mind, we want to make sure that the environment of our home is communicating those messages that we need reinforcing in here. Okay? So that's why I created the Reset program. And if you're interested in it, you can get it for 50% off after you watch the Desire masterclass. So here's what you're going to do. If you've just recently joined, what I'd like you to do is type 2 comments. One, I'd like you to type awareness. And then for the second one, I'd like you to type desire. So when you type awareness, you're going to get this tool. It's my Life+Design wheel. And again, type awareness, it's free. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a baseline for where you are today in 12 different areas of your life. Okay? And then when you do that, you're going to see where you're out of balance. And then when you type, and so this is the first step in the whole desire process. And then when you type desire, you're going to get a link to my free Power of Your Desire and Your Innate Superpowers masterclass. Okay, so let's see. That is the bulk of what I wanted to share with you, is just this understanding that our imagination and our nervous system are connected. And when we use our imagination and tap into our imagination in a way that activates our nervous system, and we want it to be positive, right? Like, we use our imagination mostly to think about those things that we do not want. And our imagination truly is our superpower. I think Einstein had an amazing comment about our imagination. We want to use our imagination and fill it up with images of things that we want. We want to be the cinematographer within our own mind, and we want to think about those things. We want to have pictures of those things that we want to create more of, that we want to move towards. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. Kimberlyn, I noticed you want to pop on the call. Is that true, or is that just, give me a thumbs up if, Kimberlyn, if you're wanting to jump on the call, and then I will let you in, but I'm not sure if it's a glitch. So if you all have any questions, definitely let me know. Okay. It must just be a glitch. If you have any questions, let me know. I recommend you watch this from the beginning, because normally I'm redundant and I try to keep everyone up to pace with what I'm saying, but I'm trying not to do that this time. So basically, all of the work that I have created is wanting to take you from one, recognizing your desire is important, getting really clear, like viscerally clear about what it is you want. Because once you know what you want, then you can tap into all your other innate powers. And I go into that more in the Power of Desire masterclass. And once we're really clear about what we want, then we take that information and we start infusing the space of our home, room by room, with, and it's in a specific way, so that it reinforces what we want within our conscious and subconscious mind. And we weave it through in a way that's really easy to integrate it into your already existing routines and patterns in life. So, and it's meant to evolve with you. And so the great thing about it is you get access forever. And where you start with it, in a year you can do it again, and it's going to take you farther. So it's basically a program for transformation and evolving, but also it's great for short-term goals, long-term goals. It can just elevate your baseline, and that's one thing that's really important. Your home is holding your baseline for well-being. And so if our home, and when I say home, I'm talking about our physical home, but I'm also talking about the space we occupy within our mind and body. And so it's really important that the environment of our home and the inner environment of our mind are aligned with what we want, are aligned with our intentions, are aligned with our values. Because I will tell you this, our mind and our perception is the only thing holding us back from what we want. Our self-perception determines what we think is possible for ourselves. Our self-perception determines what kind of opportunities that we move toward. Oh, for those of you who just joined, I want to let you know before anyone has to pop off, I have two free things that I want to give you in this conversation around the nervous system and your imagination. And so if you are interested, if you will type in the comments awareness, and then in another comment, type desire. When you type awareness, you're going to get my free favorite tool for getting a baseline for where you are in 12 different areas of your life. And this is a great tool for starting with where our desire sits in any area. It also relates to our home. Each of these different 12 areas of the Life Design Wheel are related to specific areas of our home. And so it's a really great tool for using our home as a canvas for helping us get to what we want in our home. And then the next tool or the next thing that you're going to type is desire. And then you're going to get my free, The Power of Your Desire masterclass. And that goes in deeply into why our desire is so important. Our desire, honestly, I think that our desire is the most important thing in our life because it's what fuels our passion. It's what helps us point our life in a direction. If we don't know what we want, it's like getting in a car and not having a destination and just moving through traffic or going wherever we go on a whim. Our desire really gives us focus. But often as women, we don't pay attention to our desire. We sideline our desire. And we want to start asking the question often, what do I want? What do I want? And the more we do that, the more we're going to work with this space of our imagination. And that's where the real juice is if we can infiltrate the subconscious. And I think one thing that's important that I didn't mention, and it's sort of for a different topic, but our subconscious mind is responsible for 95% of the thoughts we're thinking every single day. And if we can change our thoughts to change our life, but most of those thoughts are not in our conscious awareness, then how do we access those thoughts that we can't access? And so our imagination is one way that we can infiltrate the subconscious mind, and we start planting these images of what we want and this storyline of what we want in a way that activates the nervous system. Because our main job is to get our nervous system to believe that what we want is already happening. We want our nervous system to buy into that juicy part of our imagination, because once the nervous system believes it's possible, then we're tapping into this part of our brainstem called the reticular activating system. And when we tap into the reticular activating system, then we can sort of take our hands off the steering wheel a little bit. Then we're using the power of our brain and our mind to start working toward whatever those goals are. So my homework for you is type awareness, get the Life Design Wheel, get a baseline for where you are now, and then get really juicy with what you want in these different 12 areas of your life. And then type desire so you can get the free masterclass so that you can understand how important your desire is and how to tap into your innate superpowers. Okay, so like if I were going to save the planet and make the world a better place, what I would wish is that every single person knew with so much clarity what they want for themselves, like in this moment and the future that they want. Like, how do they want to feel? What do they want to experience? And then we have somewhere to go. Then we can start working with the space here in the mind and all these different elements of your own innate superpowers. And then we also, at the same time, work within the space of our home, because every room in our home is connected to different aspects of our life, but also different aspects of our perception. And so our home gives us a really amazing opportunity to go after what we want, to optimize the space of our home in a way that activates and engages the power of our subconscious mind and our reticular activating system. Because we don't have to make life as hard as we're making it. And really, I feel like the keys are our desire, our mind, and the environment of our home. So, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. And again, if you type awareness, I'll send you the free wheel. If you type desire and do it in separate comments, I will send you the free masterclass on the power of your desire and innate superpowers. So that's it. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry, you just joined. I'm going to save this so that you can watch it. And thanks for showing up at the last minute. Bye.